Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to sunny Aberdeen. Now the fog has burnt off. Welcome to KTM Aberdeen. Here we are again at Shirlaw's, and I have been very fortunate to be given a test ride on 890 Duke GP. This is a new one. It's got the tech pack on it. It's got a comfort seat. It's got the exhaust. It's got quick shifter up and down and all that jazz. Here we go. Oh, it's very roomy. Embrace your inner hooligan. It's definitely inner hooligan. It's actually very similar to sit on to the Dorset Euro 750 that my mate had. You sit very much in the bike. And at 6'4", there's plenty of space. Cut out the tanks, perfect for my my lanky limbs. Mirrors are a bit rubbish. Keen, she's very keen. Well, these 150, these mirrors aren't very good. 115 horsepower, I think. Oh, it's a bit naughty. So yes, KTM 890 Duke. It's got the tech pack on it. It's got quick shifter up and down. It's got the exhaust on it. This one has got a comfort seat. So far, how does it feel? Riding position is, you sit more in it. The bike feels slightly narrower, I think, around the midships, around your knees compared to the street. But we'll do the same. We'll do the same test run, route, and we'll feed back, I think. It's certainly not slow. So that's us cruising nicely at 70. Wind blast is no different to the street, I would say. Definitely more low down punch. It's comfy, needs a bend, but I would say that the foot peg to seat ratio is about the same as the street for me. If anything, maybe the pegs are feel slightly lower. Hard to tell really. There's really not much in it. It's very, very similar. Boomy exhaust, of course. This has also been. This has got a map on it as well, so you've got track functions on this should you want them. So the bars feel slightly narrower. I suspect they probably are. I have quite the same leverage on the bars through the steering. But it's certainly comfy. Well, this is a comfort seat and it does feel quite firm. Instant punch as well. Certainly seems to have better low down throttle response, wind on compared to the street. Street is definitely more top endy, with more mid range. Obviously, this is a lot more low down torque as you'd expect of a twin. Mirrors aren't very big. They're not actually that easy to see out of. Quick shift is really, really good though. As soon as you touch the gear lever, it's instant. Whereas the street is maybe like waiting for a positive gear change, whereas this you just barely touch the gear lever and it's instantly changed. Whereas the street needs more of a positive effort. By comparison, I would say. Feather-like touch on this gear lever. A bit more pliant on the road, perhaps, than the street. The street feels a bit more track focused on standard settings. This feels a bit more supple. Can't wait to get off this dual carriageway. Get on the back road. That's where this thing is going to excel. I can feel it already. Yeah, seating position feels more upright than the street. The street feels a little bit more aggressive to sit. This is feels a bit more relaxed to sit on. Even for my larger frame. instant power, instant pickup. The joys of a twin. I can see how this roll-on torque could be addictive. I've got to be on it 10 minutes. Yeah, the gear lever on this is definitely feather. It's feather light to the touch, compared to the street, which needs a bit more of a positive foot movement for sure. Not much resistance in the indicator stalk, so it's a bit difficult. Ooh, and we're stopping. Oh, the cat's just crossed the road. That's fine. First, second, third. Yeah, it's quite different, but also quite the same. Ready to race. Pickup's just unreal. Seriously, I mean, it literally accelerates from nothing. Low down punch is unreal. Probably ride it in about 2 gears too high, I would think. It does sound good. I love that rock, that thunderous burble. That gear lever is so light. So here we go, we're doing 50 mile an hour. Well, yeah, 50 mile an hour, 4th gear, clear to overtake. Yeah, I like that blipper, that's nice that. Yeah, I think there'd be a tendency with this to ride it in a gear 2, well, coming from inline 4s and obviously in inline 3. Miserable git. Yeah, you sit very much in this bike. The street's got that mid-range, the top end. It's not bad lower down, but it doesn't compare to this. It's deceptively quick, this as well. Tootling along at 60, give it a bit of a tickle, and the next thing you've just gained about 30 mile an hour. That 1290 Super Juke must be something else. This is pretty good. Loads of space to move around it as well. It's a very lazy bike to ride, if that makes sense. It feels a lazy bike to ride. You don't need to put in a lot of effort. Less busy. I can see on track this would be really good, you know. Yeah, she's pretty planted. Brakes are really good. And you can wind open the throttle and it's really stable. Squatting a little bit on the front on the back end, but that's more to do with my weight, I think, on it than anything else. Very confidence inspiring to the corners. Very, very stable as well. Very stable. It's got a certain, I don't know, finesse to it. Very much like the street in that respect. Doesn't really have the rip your arms off performance that the street doesn't have rip your arms off performance, let's get real. But it's not quite as, what's the word, intense. as a street performance wise. I mean, this is what, 115 brake, so it's down 10 brake horsepower, but this is really good actually. I've got to say, quite impressed with it. Let's go the back road home. Ooh, squeaky brakes. Yeah, if you're really good at wheelies, this would be the this would be the weapon of choice. I believe actually KTM's word for this is road scalpel. Yeah, suspensions are getting a bit busy around there, but it's good. It's good. I'll definitely say road setup wise, it's a bit smoother on the road, more like street R than the RS. My RS is quite firm, and this is more akin to the street R, I would say. As far as road manners, sitting on the road, feels a bit busy. Quite rebound, feels quite firm. But yeah, not bad. Is there such a thing as a bad bike there? I don't really think there is. The performance is not the chasm between each model and manufacturer as perhaps there used to be. So really it comes down to engine preference, looks, comfort, performance, personal preference in all those things. I find myself getting to the throttle stop a fair bit. That's not a bad thing, at least you actually managed to use the performance the bike's got. Which I guess unfortunately a lot of GSXR is on the road, you never find the throttle stop, but on this you find you're in the right gear and just winding it open. Just to get that punch out the corners, I think. Just because it's fun. Roll on, roll off. Roll on, roll off. That's what it's all about. Roll on the torque, roll off the torque. The Falls of Fuke. So if you visit Aberdeenshire, if you want to come and watch some salmon jump, this is the place to do it. Move like water. So it's got a squeaky back brake. That I can confirm. As well as where I used to spend a sunny Tuesday. Heading back into town, taking the KTM Duke home. To be honest, I don't want to give it back. I've actually really gelled with this bike and I really like it. I've got to say, hand on heart, if I'd have ridden this before I went to Street RS, I might have been persuaded to go for a twin instead, for a change. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this bike. It's everything that I thought it wasn't. It's really smooth. It's not too lumpy as far as the twin's concerned. Given in fact it is 20. Well, yeah, it's a good handful of years since I had a V twin myself. But I've got to say, it's easy to ride. The grip, squeaky rear brake. The grip on the side of the tyre on this thing, once you get it, that transition between leaning over, on this bike into a bend and it being on the side of the tyre, it's something else. It really is. It gives you loads of confidence and it's so planted. It's like it's on rails. I mean, like I said before, I don't think there's really a bad bike, such thing as a bad bike these days, but really it depends on how you like your cake and eat it. It's you know, for a twin, if you're a twin fan, I mean, this has got loads and low down stomp. I mean, I've put in about 150 miles on this bike today, and I've really been impressed. really have. And you know, you've got the aquaponic pipe there. You can't remove the baffle, but to be honest, it's as loud as I think I'd probably want it to be, without being too boomy. The wind's picked up a little bit, so I don't know how well the audio is going to be coming through. I think you'd easily get 150 miles out of a tank anyway. It's very it is comfortable. It gets better with mileage. Although with the comfort seat, it's not as soft and as plush as perhaps I thought it might be. But you get it on the back roads. You know, if you live around, like if you live where I do, and there's loads of back roads around where you are, then this thing is just an absolute riot to ride. And it is really easy. It's effortless, and I think that's the biggest thing as well. Is the street kind of, you feel like you're going quick. I guess because it's a triple and you've got the mid-range, the top end howl. We don't really get that with this. Obviously, it runs out of puff about 8,000 revs, but you know, you keep it on the boil at 4,000 revs to 7,000 revs, and my God, I tell you what, it's got some turn of speed. This thing, it really does. Where are you going, dear? I'm not too sure. Okay. It's really got some turn of speed, and you find that you actually, you know, again, going back to the GSXR where you're not really using much of the throttle, on this, it's so addictive. It just squats and goes. But yeah, winding the throttle on from next to nothing, that low down stomp, it's so addictive. It's so addictive that you find yourself coming out of corners and you're hitting the throttle stop, because you just end up nailing it everywhere. It's not going to be great for fuel consumption, but my God, it does not put a smile on your face. And the quick shifter's lovely as well. But this is where it's at here. I mean, you know, 4th gear off the roundabout. It's just insane, this thing. It really is. It's an absolute riot to ride. I really like it. I really do. And like I said before, and I still stand by what I said, it's very similar to ride to the Aprilia Dorsogero 750 that my mate had. It's just more of that everywhere. It's like on steroids. But it's great. It's comfy. You can when you put it in track mode, it stays in track mode. Turn it off, turn it back on again, and that's where it was where you left it. It's got anti-wheelie. You can turn that on and off. You can keep the ABS on or off, or basically just do whatever you want. You can put the ABS in the road mode, or you can put it in the track mode. You've got pretty much anything you want to do with it. You can do with it as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this bike. Really impressed. So if you're into a twin, or you fancy something different from the usual inline 4, or indeed a 3-cylinder, I would highly recommend riding one of these. It's really good. Anyway, we'll get back to the dealership, we'll jump off, and we'll reluctantly hand back the keys. Oh, it just wants to do naughty things.